tonight's episode, we're going to catch up on a few things, show you what's going on. And I've been doing a few other things along with the 66. So as you know, I'm back on the 66. We're working on hot and heavy, but also we are trying to get another build immediately ready for whenever the 66 is done. That guy way over here, we have a few things going on is what I'm trying to say. This is becoming, it's becoming a little catch-all, and we got to stop making it catch-all because we want to hear this motor run. We do. We kept it covered up forever, and now we got it sitting out here, and we're trying to get time to, hear it rumble. But anyway, so we painted up. This is our 5.3. Our LQ9 is on the back burner. We're gonna spray some penetrating oil and lube the cylinders, whatever, and just wrap it up in plastic, shove it in a corner, and do it later. This guy's going to get built probably immediately. I'm just going to say it. Now our first project we're going to wrap up is this. Obviously, we have to get that done so we can get to the 69 and so we can get to these other projects. The sooner this one's done, the better. With these projects, guys and gals, trust me, you are going to hit a brick wall. If you don't, then I don't know. Maybe you just... I love cars, don't get me wrong. And this car I actually have been really enjoying doing. Dang it. But my tools keep coming up missing. My flashlights come up missing. So, I was going to show you guys some little tricks that I did to save some money. But I can't find my stinking flashlight. I can never find it. I don't know what the heck I did with it. But anyway, I'm going to ramble until I find it. That way, so you don't know that that's what I'm doing, is just rambling. Because I thought that I set it over here. But the LQ9, she's pretty much toast. See, I wasn't rambling. I knew where I put it. Because it needs line board and board as well. So, and new rods and new pistons, and it's toasty. Just trust me when I say that. So we ran our fuel line, our 6AN fittings, all of that. Look at that. We could just look at it. Now, I don't like the way that looks up there, but I'm just gonna call it good because it's under the car. I'm not even gonna lie. These are a little finicky. I had to cut this line right here at the very end because it had a flare on it, and then I had to put the flare on it to make it work. I know, it's goofy, ain't it? So if you run into that problem with a factory looking Holly expensive fuel pump that you just cut brand new, anyway. And then I ran it this way. We're keeping it away from the dry shaft. There's our fuel filter. See the line? Goes toward the frontish. I do like these fittings as far as the way they fit. Like, if it doesn't leak, it's going to be really solid. So that's a plus. If not, it's going to be disaster because the exhaust is like right there. And we're going to know immediately. So that's good. But I made these brackets out of literally nothing. This is just a piece of flat metal with a rivet in it. And I did it twice because, then I ran them up through here. The transmission lines I kept away from the exhaust. We zip tied and we ran those accordingly. I mean, we ran them to where they shouldn't rub. These fittings here, I actually had to cut the AN line, and I don't know if I have another one of those fittings or not. It was like, it looked like a transmission line in here, and then like I sealed that one because I thought it would be prettier, and it doesn't really make a big difference. But anyway, it looks like a transmission line that has like little notches on it, and then this tightens. But yeah, if I can find one of those fittings, I'll gladly show you. But I had to come up with some creativity kind of things for the transmission lines. Wasn't fun. So I don't know where the fittings were. There we go. These ones are too big. I had to get a smaller one, but this was the kind of fitting. Like, it has like a little, see how that slides freely? But I slid the line over there and I just clamped it and then plugged it in. I had to get the right one for the radiator, of course. That was the big hiccup on this, where I used the, I think it was a Falcon type V8 radiator, because it's on the opposite end. A Mustang apparently has both tanks on, or both outlets on the same side. Like, it would be here and there. Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, so that's what's going on with all that. So that keeps us up to date on the fuel line situation, right? Fuel lines, transmission lines. We're starting on electrical. And that's going to be fun. Because, you know, that's my strongest suit ever. Nope. No, it ain't. But we're going to figure it out. So I'm going to let this down. And we're going to figure out some things, okay? Give me a few minutes. Okay, so now that I've tracked down all of the essentials, hopefully, first thing we got is a battery relocation tray. And, you know, I kind of went with the billet one that's super cheap. You know, with the hole down. We're going to put him right about here-ish. And then we're going to take, we got actual 100% copper wire. This does not have any of that aluminum in it that makes it thicker and all that kind of crap. So you may say, man, that's awful thin. But whenever you're running your starter wire and all that from the trunk to the front, you may want some good wire. Copper is a way better conductor than aluminum. And I have, you know, the black, which I didn't need that much of, but nonetheless, we got it. We'll make ground straps with it, whatever. That's the reason why we have different, you know, we don't need that guy. We already used it. And, you know, that's for our fuel pump and a nice crude hole there that'll cover up with magic. But we're going to actually run this from back here all the way to the front of the car. And we're going to try to run it in through here. There's a hole inside of here that you can't see. Down through here and up through the front is what we're going to try to do. That way, so it's 100% concealed. We don't have to worry about it getting pinched. And it's just more gooder. So, once we get it to that point, we're going to have to make a little, you know, incision somewhere up here in the front firewall-ish. Excuse me. And we bought these because, you know, we have a lot more electrical in this car than what we did. Do you see that? Oh yeah. Nice, pretty, brand new radiator. That's the one I was telling you about. That's a 66 through 67, 8-ish Falcon. Comet. Cubit. A few Ford smaller cars. And like I say, this one fits perfect for this because boom to this side. And on this 5-liter, the lower hose goes to the driver, not both to the passenger. But they do make it specifically for a Mustang as well. Has a fan, came with relay and all that good jazz. But anyway, that's going to get wired in as well to all this stuff. So we bought these, and these can have their positives and negatives. Get it? Positives and negatives. Anyway, so we're going to mount them somewhere in here, probably, for all this extra wiring that we're going to have. We're also thinking about putting this fuse box up here because I know we have fuses that we have to reuse, and this big circuit breaker box up here that we have, I know for a fact we do not need all of that wiring. I know we don't. So I'm wondering what I can do to get away with not using all of that garbage. I mean, that's a lot of stuff. So we're going to try to figure out a way to cut that down to like nothing and not use all of that. It's going to be eventful because, like I say, I've never done this stuff. And it also has our starter wire I can see right there, so that's going to be good. We're going to figure it out eventually. But the main thing tonight is to run the starter wire and get it up to here. And then we'll figure out what we're going to do with it from there. We're probably going to post it somewhere in here and run a wire from there to this post, which we do have a new one of these because I don't know how old this thing is. I'll bet it's been replaced, but I don't know. I mean, it probably hasn't been replaced within the last 30 plus is what I'm getting at. And I'm going to bet that's a pretty solid answer. Yeah. So we're going to run the wire, do all that jazz, and then we're going to see where we're at. All right? Wish me luck. All right, so we've been doing this for like 45 minutes, but we got some good traction, okay? We bought, I think this was 48 foot of cable of each. So we have plenty. We roughly just set this where we're going to have it. And we ran this through the inner fender in the rear. We ran it, I hope you can see this. Darn it, where's my flashlight? Hold on. Thought I was ready. I wasn't. Because it's in my pocket. I was always ready. I was just testing you. So anyway, we ran it through here on the inner side, which you might not even be able to see. It's pretty slick. So right there it is. It runs down along, and there's a hole right there in the factory spot right there. Comes down through here, runs up through under the door seal, pokes out through here and up through here. Now this will tuck in right under the corner of the dash and you'll never see it. This goes through the firewall right here. Now this is all going to be tucked up, all going to be tucked up. So believe me, I know you may say, well, it don't look good right now, but look at this. This is going to be under there. That's going to be behind this heater vent. I mean, we're going to cover all of this stuff here. This is all going to be carpet and whatnot. Hashtag winning. So now this is just step one of wiring. There's at least 147 more. I don't know. I'm not a wiring guy. I told you that. But watch where you drill your holes so you don't end up nicking your brake line or anything else. I did not, thank goodness. So I come out, I saw where the blower motor was, and then I come out right, dang it, right below that guy. Like right, where is it? Right there. I also reused some of this wire saving stuff from the 6-liter LQ9 harness because not exactly going to be using that. And if I do, I'll re-put those things on. But what I'm going to do is run this along the inner fender here just a little bit, tie it to that brake line, run it up to this strut housing, run it there. Now, do you remember the things I showed you earlier? If you didn't, I'm going to remind you. This car was not blessed with a whole bunch of stuff for a computer. Positives, grounds. Huh? How about that? Now, we're going to play it by ear because I don't know if we're going to use all of that, none of that, some of that harness down there. I don't know. But we did buy a fuse box also. So if we need to, we'll mount that guy accordingly somewhere in there, here, somewhere. Once we see where the computer's going to lie and all that good stuff, these covers will go on like so, and then this will go over the edge and protect and fall onto the floor. But it's not, I'm not going to let it. But you know, those should be for the most part covered like that, see? And then you just, once you put your cover on there, the wire gets bolted down and bada boom, bada bang, to bang. You got a sealed circuit, man. Make sure you're giving yourself excess room. There is probably 5 foot of I don't need this laying around under here. See what I'm saying? I can chop that down. I'm going to, after I tie it exactly where I want it. I did buy a brand new solenoid because I don't know how old that thing is. So we're going to wire a new solenoid in, absolutely. And we're probably going to keep it right there. I don't know. But if I decide to move it, I want movement if I'm going to move it. So we need to look at a cold air system, because this is going to come out and hit like everything. Awesome. So I need to find some like elbows and whatever, I don't know. But we're going to look for stuff to like maybe make it go right in here somewhere. So we might end up relocating this back there, or over 2 inches, or over here. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie to you. So either way, that may and or may not move. I don't know. But we're going to have to figure out this. Oh, for our fuel lines also, we had to do a barb fitting in here. Darn it. Where's my flashlight? There it is. We had to do a barb fitting and just like screw it and put the line over top of the original. Actually, no, we used the original fuel line fitting, cut the line off of it, put it on there and clamped it on there. I don't know if that's going to work or not. We're just going to hope that it does. I might have to get some different clamps. I don't know. Some fuel injection type clampage. I'm going to look for them now that I remember that. But another project for another day. Nothing else, they'll blow off, and you know, this project will be crispy. We don't really want that. We spent a lot of time on this car and money. So we're probably going to end up cutting out a cubby hole here. I don't know yet. And boxing this off for the computer and maybe that harness. So this is just step one on how to lay this out accordingly. And we're going to figure out if we need this guy. We might have to call in a lifeline. I'm really not sure yet. But so that's where we're at tonight. The main thing is, don't zip anything down until you get your cable where you think you want it. Absolutely. I am 100% sure I want it ran all the way to here. I don't know where I want to put this yet. So I may just run this wire all the way here and then run a wire from here to there, because essentially it's the exact same thing. It's the same but different, you know what I mean? Either way, I'm going to have a wire running from here to there and from there to there. Either way, it's the same math, however you figure it. So I'm going to finish zipping all that stuff down. And I chose this location because there's nothing here. There's no headlights behind it. There's no wiring. There's nothing I could drill into. And it's a good access location for your wiring. I mean, why make it harder if you don't have to? It's kind of my thinking. Maybe I'm old school like that. I don't really know. But it seems funny to me why I would make it rougher on myself whenever I'm the one going to have to fix whatever happens, if anything happens. Hopefully nothing. But so that's that. We'll see if we wasted our money on these or if we did good on these. I have no idea yet. On the battery tray, you may limit to yourself if you buy one, just for the fact that I did not know that this was kind of limited as far as space. So even though this is where I'm putting it, and I'm 100% sure a stock battery will work, which I'm going to look up cold cranking amps and group size battery on a 1994 Mustang, because that is the engine and transmission, alternator, blah 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 blah. That's what we're really running, sort of ish. So we need that kind of battery. We don't need a 1966 Mustang battery. It's a 6-cylinder. That's not going to be sufficient enough. So that's what we're going to do with that guy. But we're going to take it in and make sure we get a battery that fits perfect in there. We're probably going to run side post on the inside and send it. That seems like the best way to do it. I don't really want to run anything to the outside here, I don't think. One, because the further outside it is, the more likely somebody that's not me driving could possibly short out the battery. I don't want that. This is hopefully going to be a great little cruiser without issues. Secondly, the positive post is already here, so if I just go bing and take the negative, ground a piece here to the frame, there's our ground, done. And that's going to be very basic, very simple. Other than that, we're also going to run, apparently on these 302s, you're supposed to ground, excuse me, you're supposed to ground both sides of the head. I don't know, it's what I was told. So we're also going to make ground straps out of this with these things here. And we're going to use as much of it as we can. We're just going to roll with it. Hopefully that makes things easier for this guy. We're also going to see what we need to make all of this work perfectly. So we might end up running more wire through there along with this. I don't know yet. It's going to be fun. So anyway, guys and gals, yeah, I'm not going to wrap up this, but this is the main meat and taters of her. You know, get you some battery cable ends. I bought this here off of the Amazonian site. It's the crimper for those things. You don't necessarily have to have them, but it does make it a lot cleaner and neater to have these kind of things. You just put it in there and you crimp the Jesus out of it, I guess. And I've never had one. I just saw it and I thought, man, that'd be pretty neat, like if I could make my own cable ends and like it'd be weather tight. So we're going to try it. I'll let you know if it's good or bad or ugly, and we're just going to roll with it from there. Does that sound good? Sorry this episode doesn't go into a great detail. Hopefully it shows you guys and gals a little bit of where and how to run. Also, remember to protect your wire with the wire covers, rubber hose, whatever you got to protect them, because I don't think you want that thing shorting out if it's ran through your body like that there, or through your firewall. Just going to sit there and cut on it like a chainsaw. May not be a good idea, but you know, these are just simple suggestions. Hopefully they help you guys and gals. So thank you all so much for subscribing, watching, telling your friends. I appreciate every one of you. Y'all have a great weekend, and it's going to get really exciting here soon. Hopefully we'll get in this thing soon and be firing it up, finish up in this interior, sanding it down, and sanding this sucker out the door so we can start on something else. Yes, and amongst other things. I'm just saying. Thanks again. We'll see you next time here on Right Tuner Garage TV. And if you don't mind, just a real quick, you know, just somewhere down in there, hit that old subscribe button, help a fella out. I appreciate it. You guys have a great weekend. We'll see you next time.